Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing great, hope you're all doing well, hope you're all remembering to drink water. It's very necessary. We keep going over that. For some reason people forget that they need it, and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to leave a like, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Well, so I don't really know where to go with this one. I guess I'm gonna call this like prediction 3.0. I can't figure out where to really categorize this one. The last couple of weeks, more or less or more, were kind of lightly dominated by the idea that a lot of cryptocurrencies were going down in price for whatever the actual reason might be. I've seen people talking about fractals, refractals, pterodactyls, charts and these lines, and this is happening, and the accumulation phases and what have you. The optimism never left the market, which is absolutely incredible, but it's more of it's evolved into, if you've been here the last 2 weeks, it's evolved into this idea of where the market is heading over the next 12 weeks to essentially the next 24 weeks, the next 3 months to the next 6 months. It's kind of at like the forefront, really, of what everyone is analyzing, what everyone's going over, what people are anticipating over the course of January, where they see things going in February. And by the time we get to June, if you've been missing it, every analyst has more or less said the same thing. This is usually when we see like the first pump, where things go really high. Summertime tends to be a bit more lull, a lot more sideways action. We're still in the realm of people talking about that cycles might be over or things might have shifted. If you missed the last couple of videos, there are a number of analysts who think that this cycle might last longer than every other cycle because of this, because of that. And then that leads us into the end of 2025, which is normally when we hit the crescendo, prices go up even higher than they did in June and July. And then at some point they began to fall back down. This is what we've seen in the other cycles. However, what we have not seen is this level of institutional interest. It's quite staggering how much money is entering the space at any given point. A lot of people were quite disappointed, might I say, that there was no what they call a Santa Claus rally or a Santa rally. The idea being on Christmas, we historically have seen people get together with their families. They boast about how much money they made in the cryptocurrency market. New people get into crypto, prices rise higher, that kind of thing. So people think that we've shifted in some sort of way a little bit, not forward, like the timeline is just kind of extended in that way. And then on top of that, the price predictions are, I love seeing them. It's just more of I would love if we could get like a little smidge further, because everyone is coming out with quite fascinating price targets before we even hit summertime. It says XRP's bullish potential hinges on favorable market trends, obviously, strong adoption, and investor confidence. Per the Fibonacci and Elliott wave analysis, which is something that many people love, XRP, according to this chart, could go to $15 by May of 2025. If you were paying attention, like I said, the first 3 months, we have seen a plethora of news in the 3 to 4 week time span. You've seen it. It's alt season, it's altcoin season, this is going to, and this kind of thing, like this loop going over and over. There's a lot of weight on the shoulders of Ripple, the company, and XRP currently about the expectation of the continued creation of their stablecoin, them going public, the 3 or 4 XRP ETFs that we see are being pushed forth to the SEC, and I forgot what the other thing is. This is also the year of countries launching their stable coins, and they will be launched as well, as far as news hints or tells us, also on the XRP ledger this year as well. The idea, for those of you who haven't seen the numbers, maybe in the last 2 weeks, a lot of people think that XRP by the end of 2025 will be oscillating anywhere from 21 to 24 US dollars. I have not seen a 26. I haven't seen a 31. I haven't seen a 42. It's always for some reason between 21 and 24, 24 being like the farthest up that we've seen. So now we're getting a, by May, 15 US dollars per XRP, spotlighting the significance of technical indicators in price predictions. It says this projection suggests a robust bullish trend. This was said by someone called Eggrag Crypto, emphasizing the need for market conditions to remain favorable for XRP's price hike. Well, yeah, obviously, if the conditions are negative, we're probably not going to hit those numbers. I don't understand why sometimes articles write things like that. It says XRP is forecasted to potentially reach $15 by May, driven by bullish market trends and strong adoption metrics, creating a promising outlook. A lot of what has been going around, and I say this once again, has been for the most part positive. I think the only negative thing that I've seen thus far is from, I think, Peter Brandt. I think it was Peter Brandt, a very popular analyst within the space. I think recently he said that if things don't get to Fibonacci's, Marge Simpson's, Bart's cup and handles, and all those other things, we might just only see a $185,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year, which, to be completely fair, isn't terrible. If we get to the point where Bitcoin is even near 200,000, it also means that the altcoins have been pumping for a very long time. I do need to state, please remember that when making gains, when making money in this space, you will not always make a 50, 100, 10,000% gain on what you put your money into. And it is totally fine if you've only 5x'd your money. If you did a 15x on your money, you're not understanding how difficult that actually is to do in any other market. None of you right now are going to buy a home, a house, real estate, and over the course of a 7-month period, have that property rise by 15 times its current value. A lot of people get into crypto and they hold on. Not that the term isn't for too long. You know, everyone has their own goals, but a lot of people will put 1,000 into something and they want to make $145,000. They look at the screen, they've made 27,000 and they go, it's not enough. There's no other market, stock market included, that will get you these kinds of returns over the course of a bull run, a bull cycle. Just had to throw that out there because I see a lot of people on Twitter posting quite frequently to their followers, I'm getting into these 5 crappy coins and I'm holding on to them until I get to 1 million. And other people don't know that that person you're listening to is not really holding on to 1 million at all. They'll understand that they made 125,000. Marge Simpson ends up looking sad, and then the price is probably going to go down. So understand the numbers that you're making in this run are already spectacular. And we're expecting that the next 3 to 6 months are going to give us like really high exponential numbers as well. According to Egrag Crypto on Twitter, Fibonacci time zones, marked May 2025 as a key date, aligning with the 1.618 level, historically linked to major price movements. The Elliott wave analysis indicated that XRP is in wave 4, a corrective phase often preceding substantial bullish action in wave 5. Historical patterns suggest that wave 5 could see a 391% gain, combining previous waves' performance. These metrics paint an optimistic picture provided market conditions remain supportive. At the moment, at the time of me making this video, at the time of me sitting in front of this computer, expectations are, I cannot give you the entire shebang. However, I will try and give you as much as time permits. It looks like the expectations are that apparently several $100 billion are expected to be pushed into markets around Q1 of 2025 by the Fed, etc., etc. We're expecting interest rates to go lower, but that's also a gigantic question mark. As far as I can tell from the news and things about finance, people believe that Trump is going to have very favorable policies when it comes to lowering taxes and lowering taxes basically across the board. And I've seen rumors as well. We need to wait for these actual things. I think people are kind of just throwing out as many rumors as they see fit, seeing which ones will stick to a wall. I saw people saying that there are rumors that apparently Trump or someone else might try and enact something that says that capital gains on crypto is 0 within the United States. That's a gigantic rumor. The second part was I saw someone made a list of a couple of altcoins that they said they also knew were on this list, and it's like everyone keeps jumping a little bit too far ahead. As of right now, I would logically assume we're going to see a lot of favorable legislation in the form of crypto. I just saw something a day ago. There's I think one of the positions in the White House is called a crypto czar, like CZAR. And apparently the next person to run the SEC, etc., etc., etc. We're probably going to have a very good 3 to 6 month period within the economy. So, right. This was one of the, I want to say, more normal price predictions for XRP over the course of this time frame. There are a lot of people throwing out $34, $50, $60 this year. I think 15 seems incredibly believable, especially if we have 5 months of constant positive economic news. On top of that as well, it's all tying together. I told you we are back in this like ultra optimistic where things are going in the future. Even this photo, it's like a fairy tale land where everyone for some reason has a hot air balloon. I'm not really sure. Venture capitalist Chris Berniska, says crypto investors with long-term conviction should be chomping at the bit. Is that a saying? Man, you should be chomping at the bit. I've never heard that before in my life. Should be chomping at the bit for entries into the market amid the correction. For those of you who also didn't see, what was it? It was a CEO. It was a couple of months ago. And the guy was like, yeah, we're in the bull market. Sell everything you have and buy as much crypto as possible. And I was like, that guy knows what's going on. Berniski, a former analyst at Cathie Woods' ARK Invest, and current partner at Placeholder, says that Bitcoin has likely already printed its lows for the bull run. And given that quality alts are down significantly, opportunities for crypto bulls are abound. Many altcoins still have not gotten to their previous all-time highs. It is lightly perplexing to me, but hear my words strongly. Do you remember what happened in February, March, April, May, June 2024? For those of you who don't remember, Bitcoin was pumping in price, and everyone and their mother was a little bit confused. Not only was Bitcoin pumping early, if you will, altcoins were barely moving, if at all. There would be a month where you saw one coin go up by 4%, but a lot of attention was being paid to Bitcoin. Do you remember why? Anyone? It's because normally we typically don't see alt season begin until January. Until the year after the halving, there usually is not a lot of movement. Do you also remember when Bitcoin normally hits its previous all-time high again? January. It's also the year after the halving. So when we went nearly instantaneously back to $70,000 and then pushed above to, what was it, 104,000? That, in essence, was not supposed to have happened that early. It's meant to happen now. Like, really, right now is when we're supposed to get Bitcoin going back to 70,000, 68, whatever it hit before all those years ago. And then from this point is when Bitcoin begins to print really bigger numbers. This is why a lot of the analysts were saying they're expecting a $300,000, $400,000 Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's movements are like super accelerated, but it's also because of the millions of Bitcoin that have been bought up in a short period of time. So you notice a lot of the altcoins are still not at their previous all-time high. It's because this is normally when things begin. It looks like there might be a slight bit of divergence where Bitcoin is accelerated because of all the ETFs and all the other buying and MicroStrategy buying 7 bajillion Bitcoin all the time. But now this is usually when we see the movements for altcoins as well. Once again, if this is your first cycle, welcome. The cryptocurrency space is always this crazy. It's always this weird. It's always this confusing. I'm not really sure. And given that quality alts are down significantly, opportunities for crypto bulls are abound, he said, and I quote, "Loving where the market is right now. Bitcoin," it says Bitcoin is making PTSD. Okay. People fear a precipice when it's already filled the liquidation wick as far and fell as far as 15% from its recent highs. Quality alts are holding or putting in higher lows on a number of important time frames. Funding rate and sentiment reveal the red liquid, so they say, has drained out of the late blooming bulls' faces. Who talks like this? Why do people keep doing this in quotes and stuff like that? Over the last couple of years, if you've watched over 200 videos from this channel, how many times have I said that? We have so many companies who keep saying really weird things. They're like, if you flip the flapjack a little bit too quickly, like the other side's going to be wet and it leaks into the market. And it's like, what? No one talks like that. Has drained out of the late blooming bull's face. It says Santa gave relief for a day, but that didn't deliver in full. That said, given all the bullish developments of Q4 that are now masked by tinges of fear in the market, the setup is sweet for our entry into 2025. The short term is always unpredictable and volatile. But he says, if you're a long-term investor with conviction, you should be salivating. All right, this is getting ridiculous. So, cool. Another person talking about where the market's going to be going. And I mean, if you haven't gotten it at this point, All the analysts are expecting really major things. I am as well. Don't let me sound cynical or unoptimistic in any sort of way. It's just weird to me, like everyone like on the same vibrational level. We never had this before years ago. There were always 3 or 4 analysts who were like, Bitcoin's going to $1, like that kind of thing. But for everyone to think the same exact thing, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm not. I think the next couple of months are going to be nearly focused heavily on altcoins. This is kind of the season. I watched a couple of, not videos, I don't know what they were. I saw people talking about things and on Twitter and a lot of the larger names in the analytical space. And they're predicting like a multi-tiered cascade. Basically, Bitcoin's price going up, Bitcoin's dominance falling comparative to altcoins, altcoin prices going up, people realizing, how do I say this, that they could have made more money if they got into the market earlier, and then a lot of money that would go into altcoins begins to shift into like meme coins and stuff like that, and then the next one after that are apparently AI coins, and then the last cascade is expected to be into NFTs, which are also picking up quite heavily as well. I'm not sure if a lot of you have been noticing prices not just on VV but on like OpenSea. A lot of things. I'll give it to you this way. There was a project, and it's one of those. I knew better. There was a project back in October, and each individual NFT, the floor price was 2.5 Ether. 2.5 Ether back in October. And I was going to get like 1 or 2. I was like, I really want to jump into this. I didn't. Last I checked, they're at 27 ETH each. You know, you can't blame yourself. You can't get upset, but it's definitely one of those. I wish I had just paid attention. Anyway, I'm buying a lot of NFTs once again because I feel like something's definitely brewing. That's the Bitcoin salivating. Someone should be salivating or something like that. That's what this guy is saying. I mean, it's his sentence, not mine. Also, I want to say, tying into it as well, it's nice to see optimism, but gosh darn it if the world isn't insane. Dogecoin price action has slowed over the past 4 weeks after it breached its multi-month resistance level of 35 cents in early November. And then they have a chart there as if we didn't believe them. While the daily chart remains bullish, the crypto asset lost support from the 50-day EMA level on the 19th of December and has not yet recovered a position above the indicator. Despite these short-term concerns, one analyst highlighted that Dogecoin's long-term target remains significantly high in 2025 if its previous bull run performance is considered. When I tell you this is a little insane to me, this is actually almost as crazy as Bitcoin going to $1 million this year. Someone by the name of CEO, they named themselves CEO, told 500,000 people on Twitter that Dogecoin is on track for a massive rally in 2025. With the help of a weekly chart, the investor illustrated a range high and a range low sweep of previous weekly resistance and support that took place in the previous bull run. The same pattern has been repeated over the course of 2024, and Dogecoin apparently is in the final stages before a breakout rally. Similarly, oh geez Louise, you got to be kidding me with these names. Someone named themselves Chandler Bing. Chandler Bing, a technical analyst, said that the meme coin's long-term price range is between $2.35 and $2.60, which is another 683% gain from its current price. So, A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, take this with a grain of salt, take this with a rock of salt. I don't know what you need to take. A lot of people think that Dogecoin is going to do exceptionally beautiful over the course of like forever. I do know a lot of this has to do with the idea of Muskie creating the Department of Governmental Efficiency. Is that right? I feel like that's correct. And people think that Elon Musk very soon is going to announce something Dogecoin-y. I mean, if we can be completely honest, like the entire memification of even naming a government department Doge is like a little bit too on the nose. And people think that Dogecoin is basically going to skyrocket and hit these numbers. I have a lot of thoughts for this, but I will not ruin anyone's day. I don't want to dampen what you think might actually happen. I just will say, look into what you invest in. Know what you're investing in. Look at how many people, how many wallets are actually in these projects. What the inflation rate is. How many coins are created per day. But, cool. So, yes, Dogecoin apparently is now in the fray as well. It's usually Ethereum and XRP being at the top of the list as the other coins that are being spoken about. I think a lot of coins will do exceptionally well. I just think there's often a lot of hype around things that maybe... I think that's going to do it for this video. Yeah, I think we have good times ahead. I think the year's going to be... I think the year's going to be a little intense for a lot of different reasons. I watched a video. I know I say that often is because I'm constantly watching videos. And they were discussing inflation. And they were talking to like a bunch of normal, if you will, everyday people about inflation and their expectations of inflation over the course of 2025. And they were basically explaining to them that inflation levels will rise. Like it's going to get bad and it's probably going to like affect normal people. And like they understood, but they didn't really understand why. And we're witnessing the end of fiat currencies. And that's something that a lot of people are going to have to wrap their heads around, especially as we are thrown rapidly towards hyper Bitcoinization. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. I'm sure none of you would hate a $15 XRP. None of you would be upset with a near $3 Dogecoin. I mean, listen, I have my fingers and my toes crossed. I'm not even joking. Like they're crossed right now. They're all crossed for all of you so that you can make exceptional gains before we get to summertime so that you can take a very, very long vacation. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.